Prior to the implementation of the program, as you mentioned, snakebite was a major cause of death, particularly among young children in Papua New Guinea, and almost half of the deaths were occurring in children. Since the project began, it's estimated that we have saved over 2,000 lives by providing timely access to these antivenoms.
Now, what's involved in developing these vaccines, and how do our geographical similarities with PNG come into play here?
Yeah, so CSL Seqirus is the only manufacturer of antivenoms, and we're really uniquely positioned to support Papua New Guinea in this because many years ago, Papua New Guinea and Australia were joined by a land bridge, and so a number of the venomous creatures that we see in Australia are also common to Papua New Guinea. This means that the antivenoms that we manufacture here can be useful in places like Papua New Guinea as well.
Now, we've seen through previous initiatives how much of a challenge reaching certain parts of PNG can be. Has transporting these vaccines been an issue?
Absolutely. Transporting medicines throughout places like Papua New Guinea is a very different situation to transport throughout Australia. Many of the rural and remote regions are accessed via off-road tracks, and it can take some time to get these medicines to where they need to be.
Now, CSL manufactures 11 antivenoms for things like snakes and spiders and sea creatures. How vital is a program like this with Papua New Guinea to help fine-tune those vaccines and for ways and about ways patients can be cared for?
Yeah, look, the manufacturing of antivenoms is an incredibly complex process, and it takes months for us to go from venom collection to the final product. Here in Australia, we work with our expert partners like the Australian Reptile Park, like James Cook University and Venom Supplies. They supply us with the venom, and then we manufacture those antivenoms using donor animals. These animals are absolutely essential to the manufacture of the antivenoms, and we then work to package them and transport them not just throughout Australia, but to places like Papua New Guinea as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, the program also focuses on developing capacity and sustainability for PNG's anti-venom supply. Does that include whether these vaccines can be manufactured in PNG itself?
Because of the complexities associated with manufacturing antivenoms, this is something that's handled by CSL Seqirus at our facilities in Australia. We're not looking at setting up those facilities in Papua New Guinea. At this time, what we're looking to do is support the training of healthcare workers in Papua New Guinea so that they know how to manage from a first aid standpoint snake envenomation when it does happen, and with the help of partners like St John's Ambulance, making sure that the antivenoms are readily available for people in the event that they are bitten by a snake.
Mm-hmm. And have those supply numbers of the antivenoms, have they been relatively stable over the years? Have they gone up? Have they gone down?
Since the project began, we've donated more than 3,000 vials of antivenom to Papua New Guinea. Each year we donate roughly 600 vials, but it does vary slightly year on year depending on the yield of those antivenoms.
And finally, Dr Bayliss, the program has now been extended until 2027. Looking ahead, what do you hope to accomplish in that time?
I think that the further expansion of healthcare workers that are trained in the management of snakebite is something that will be critical to the success of the program moving forward, making sure that these antivenoms are able to reach the most remote parts of Papua New Guinea and that they're able to be administered appropriately and given to those who need these life-saving medicines.
Dr Jules Bayliss, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.